This tutorial will cover correcting and resuming an exam on the iPad. Following this tutorial, you will be able to use the Quick Impression Edit to resume a diagnosis, resume a plan, review findings, and reorder impressions. You'll be able to view your visit note details through Documents. The Quick Impression Edit will provide detailed information of what's been documented in the ocular exam room. On the CC HPI tab, here you can add additional notes in regarding the chief complaint. However, it will not modify any HPI elements. You would need to go back to the chief complaint in order to do the HPI elements. Exam Details provides all the information from Perform Exam. We see all the normal statements, and in the red, we're going to see the CD ratios that were documented, any glyph tools that we did with the glyph tool section, as well as any findings that we documented with a diagnosis. So here we're seeing abnormal tear breakup time for both eyes, and that was documented with our impression of blepharitis. On the Impressions tab, here we see myopia. Its location is OU for both eyes. We see that we did document that as a new diagnosis. I also am seeing that I did blepharitis OU and documented findings of abnormal tear breakup time, and that was also a new diagnosis. I also see all the plans that were documented for each of our diagnosis codes. To the right of the diagnosis, we have several actions. Delete will remove the diagnosis and all plans documented for that diagnosis. Findings will provide a list of any and all findings assigned. Rather than deleting the diagnosis and starting over, you can select Replace Diagnosis and search and select the correct diagnosis code. Resume Diagnosis will allow you to reopen the diagnosis and add additional plans if you forgot one. Each plan has a couple of options as well. You can delete the plan, or you can resume the plan, which will reopen the plan and allow you to add or change any information. Resume Diagnosis would be used if you needed to add an additional plan to your diagnosis code. It resumes the diagnosis, and here we see the classification, any findings if selected, and now I can go right over here to the Plans section and select and document any plan I may have forgotten. If we go back to the Quick Impression Edit, any changes that were made, you would be able to see that information here. If we go down to blepharitis and we click or select the findings, here we see the findings that were documented for this blepharitis diagnosis. I actually can remove anything if I added it in error by just touching the dash under the action. If we go back to Quick Impression Edit, we also have the ability to reorder these diagnosis codes. So if I wanted my medical diagnosis to be listed first, I can select Reorder Impressions, and here I can drag and drop blepharitis to the first position. And then I can save that information, and now blepharitis will list first and myopia will list second. To review your visit details, select the Documents button at the bottom of the visit overview. This will take you to the visit note. The word Preliminary will list across the screen as this note has not been finalized yet. Here we see the chief complaint. We see the clipboard information as well as the review of systems. We have all of the eye exam information from pre-testing. As we scroll down, we'll see our trial lenses. As we continue to scroll down, we'll see all of the exam detail information, as well as any diagnostic tests we did. So there's the external photos. And here we see all of our impressions and plans, so our diagnosis codes and plans. As I continue to scroll down, I'll see any of the prescriptions that were generated for the patient. And we'll also be able to scroll down to the bottom, and here are our glyph tools. So there's the drusen and the choroidal nevus that was documented for this visit. If any photos were taken or any drawings were done and saved to the visit, those would also list here at the bottom of the visit note. Thank you for listening. We hope you found this tutorial useful. Please visit our support community to view additional tutorials.